Welcome into the Thunder basketball universe. You'll notice we are once again in the Thunder practice facility, and this has been such a treat getting a chance to talk to some players. And today we are joined by none other than Kenrich Williams, who is a true friend of the pod. Like ever since the pod has been started, we've had Kenrich on pretty much once a year. So Kenrich, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thank y'all for having me. My mother loves the podcast. She watches them all the time. So
shout out.
Yeah. That's like the best stamp of approval I could possibly imagine.
Shout out to mama.
Yeah.
Shout out moms. That's amazing. So we got some something to live up to here today.
Seriously.
We'll make sure it's a good one for her.
Is she down in Waco?
Yeah, she's in Waco.
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
She's in Waco. So,
but does she pop up every once in a while?
She watches everything all the time.
Yeah.
And she's big on all of our interviews, the media interviews. She's watching everything. So
she's locked in.
She's locked in for sure.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
What's this like for her, from your perception, to have a son who's an NBA, not just an NBA player, but just such a respected NBA player?
Man, we talk about it a lot, and it's just like it's kind of dreamy.
Yeah.
You can't even put it to words, to be honest. Like it's like, I grew up with my mom. Like we were very close, and for her to have a son that's now playing in the NBA, it's like it's a different feeling. Like it's she's just super proud of me, I would say, and just more so proud of kind of the way that I carry myself, throughout my career and from college to the NBA now. So shout out to mom.
I mean, you used to take Greyhound buses home from junior college to go see her.
Yeah.
And now, you can do what you want, Right. But you're the same guy. Like, what was her influence in that?
She's the one that influenced me, like just being humble, making sacrifices. It all comes from her. So when I tell these stories of me hopping on the Greyhound, like it started with her. I knew nothing about the Greyhound until my mom put me and her on a Greyhound. So the humble beginnings definitely come from her, and the spirit comes from her, and I always try to give her the credit, and also God the credit as well.
Yeah, you have no chip on your shoulder about being undrafted and just your journey. I don't know, just what's prevented you from having, you play with an edge.
For sure. And
you have an edge to you, but it's all in a positive direction.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I think that the first year you're in the NBA and you go undrafted, it's like, okay, now I got something to prove. But you get to year 7, it's like, okay, you start to realize like almost everybody kind of has a story. So it's like I have to separate myself with the way I work, and how hard I play, and just the energy that I put out on and off the court. So like I said, that's something that I definitely get from her, and just having that chip, always working hard. She always worked hard to provide for myself and the family, and like I said, man, I'm just super grateful to be here.
She has so much to be proud of right now. I mean, between your journey, where you are right now, a fixture of this organization, but also how good this team is doing currently.
For sure.
And for those that are watching who might have missed last night's game against the Memphis Grizzlies, the Thunder kick off a 4-game homestand against a very motivated, very competitive Grizzlies team. It was a back and forth. There were 22 lead changes. I don't know if you noticed that, Kenrich, in that game.
Wow.
You guys went back and forth a ton in that one. And then a massive fourth quarter. I'm talking a 28-3 run. The Thunder held the Memphis Grizzlies to just 5 points in the last 7 minutes and 40 seconds. Defensive lockdown in that moment. And Kenrich, you played a role in that fourth quarter. Can you take me through what goes into a run like that for you guys in that stretch?
I think for us is just kind of clamping down on the defensive side, amping up the pressure, getting the crowd into it. You heard it last night. When we started our runs, once the crowd gets into it, it's something. It just kind of triggers us, and like I said, we have the best fans in the game, and once we're able to kind get them going, and it kind of raises our level of competitiveness. And you've seen it last night, and not only last night, but it's happened throughout the season. The fans play a big part in that, and also us just kind of competing on the defensive side and maybe making a big shot.
Yeah.
Like Lou hit a big shot.
Oh my gosh!
Late in the game,
that
like
three,
the clouds.
Yeah, it was high in the air, and it just kind of got us going. So, somebody making a spark play, whether that's Lou hitting the shot, Shea hitting the tough bucket, Jay Will, taking the charge or something. So it's just like it's a combined effort from us and the fans.
Yeah, I mean that game was tied at 99 with 7 minutes and 20 seconds to go. There was only one lead change after that because you laid it on them and won by 21. How can it? So you're kind of describing how it happens. How does it happen that fast? It seems like there's a speed to which you guys are able to put it on people like that.
I think it's a number of things. I think the way we regroup in timeouts, able to kind of stay in the moment. Coach does a good job of putting us in position, whether that's on offense or defense. And we got some great leaders on our team, Shea, AC, and all the other guys. I mean, they lead by example. So it's a number of things, and I wouldn't just pinpoint it on one thing. It's just like, man, somebody making a play to get us going, to get us sparked up.
I love that this team doesn't just rely on one guy. Like you mentioned, several different players that could come in, make a spark, make an impact, and then just ignite a fire, basically.
Right.
And Kenrich, in that game, I mean, Alex Caruso goes down with injury, doesn't come back. Jay Will goes out, doesn't come back. So you're stepping into bigger roles, extended roles. You're playing the five, something that we've seen a lot from you this season. But throughout this season, that's kind of been a theme for you guys where it's, different lineups, different roles, guys going down with injury, and it doesn't matter. You guys are still playing the same style of basketball. I mean, what does that say about this group and kind of the culture that you guys have?
Yeah, it says a lot. It says how deep we are as a team, and that's something that you're going to need, throughout an 82-game season, throughout the playoffs, and you're going to need guys to step up. And you see it not only last night, but throughout the past few games. J Dub's been out. We've had guys out. Chet's been in and out, and guys are stepping up. I think I said in the media yesterday, like, we're a really good team from 1 to 16 or however many it is. Even the two-way guys like BC stepping in and playing a big role for the team, or Dylan coming in and giving good solid minutes. So I think it's a combined thing of just the preparation that the guys put in, the work the guys put in, and the trust the coaches have in us.
As you are listing off those names, and I'm thinking, 1 to 17 or 16 or whatever, every single guy plays with a level of physicality that when you think back to, when this thing started, when you first got here, that's what the team was really searching for. They were searching for guys who could play that way and then developing that physicality as well.
Yeah.
It seems like you were like the first guy to kind of be able to hit that level, one of the very first.
Yeah.
Was there anything conscious about that for you? Is that just totally natural and innate for you, or were you feeling like, okay, I can help the rest of this group figure out what it actually means to live up to the standard that the Thunder wants in terms of physicality?
Yeah, I think it's both. I've been playing like that for the longest. I grew up playing that way since I was a kid, and then I figured out, okay, there's a way I can also bring my teammates to be able to compete to that level. And, that's what I've tried to do since day one, since I stepped, foot on this organization. And no matter who I played with, I try to just raise the competitive level of my teammates. And, man, it's just when you say stuff like that, I'm super grateful because you look back and it's like, man, 5 years ago we were just at the bottom, of the standings, and now we're on top. And, it just makes you super grateful So yeah, I'm thankful.
I know there's probably a bunch of guys that you could pick out, but is there anybody in particular that as you look at their journey here that you're extra proud of to have had a role in kind of helping them achieve that potential that they've got, or as they're still pursuing it?
Yeah, I think of a lot of guys, man. I think of guys who've came and left, like the Trey Mans, the Josh Giddeys. I think of guys here like Wiggins, like to see him be able to like step up and take a new role for the team and like be an important piece for the team. Like not only him, like Dub, Shea, like I feel like I'm a part of when those guys have success. Yeah. Like I feel like man, like I did my job.
Yeah.
I feel like a big brother to them, and I feel like I did something right.
That's awesome.
Speaking of going from where you guys were 5 years ago to where you are right now, big accomplishment, big milestone for this group the other night against Memphis, picking up your 61st win of the season. Yeah. That's a new Thunder record for total wins. Yeah. Yes, round of applause for that. Yeah. Because Kenrich, you have been a part of this team for a very long time now.
Right.
What does this mean for you? And the common refrain we hear, whether it's from coach or from your teammates, is stacking days, stacking games. What has led to this from your perspective?
Yeah, I think it's that right there, man. From day one, stacking days. Like we weren't the best team 5 years ago. No, if I'm not mistaken, the Grizzlies set a record on us for the most points scored in the game. Mm-hmm. If I'm not mistaken, like we lost 10+ games in a row. If I'm not mistaken, we were the bottom, like I said, the bottom of the league standings 5 years ago. So. All those things, just like I always say, it makes you super grateful to be a part of this team and a part of this organization. And it puts things in perspective to where it's like, man, it could be a lot worse. But, you're super grateful to win 60 games. It's a lot of games. 61 games is a lot of games to win. So it just kind of puts everything in perspective, and you're super proud of, the guys that you kind of compete with and to go to war with every day. And I always say, man, this is the funnest group that, I've got to play the game with, and I'm always just happy, man, just grateful to be able to be a part of this organization.
I mean, we can tell how much fun you guys are having. I mean, you're literally holding a basketball right now during this podcast. Right. We know how much fun you guys have together. And I'm curious, Kenrich, because you've mentioned to us a couple, and speaking of just helping uplift your teammates, the one-on-one battles that you've had with some of your teammates, and you mentioned Trey Man. I feel like this started with Trey Man back in the day, and now it's extended on. You're playing Jay Will, you're playing Ooze. Now, are you the one initiating these one-on-ones?
Yeah, okay. I'm always the one initiating. Like so they might give me a couple games, they might beat me a couple games, but I'm always the one rolling the ball out, saying, "Hey, let's play a little bit," and that's just to kind of keep the mood light.
Yep.
Keep the game fun, and just kind of stay sharp and stay competitive. So
he's like the dog at the dog park that's always like nipping the other dog's ears, trying to get him to play and get him to wrestle. Yeah, it's like come on, let's get out here.
So, but nah, the one-on-one games is kind of a staple of kind of who I am, and. Even with Trey, I think back. Now you got me kind of thinking back on Trey, and seeing his success he's having, and just all the other guys as well, man. Jay Will and Ooze and the guys who don't play big minutes. Just being able to, just be humble enough to play one-on-one, play in the high intensity games, just to stay sharp. So, big shout out to those guys.
I was thinking about this because I knew we were going to talk to you, and there's a mantra that you guys have, which is like compete together, right? And that's very focused on, we're going to compete against the opponent, we're going to do it together. But there's also this dynamic that includes these one-on-ones of like there's a competitiveness inside of the team also with each other that's healthy. Like anybody that's played on a team knows like the team itself is a little bit competitive too, but you seem to have such a great pulse on how to keep that healthy.
Yeah.
What have you learned about the competitiveness internally that a team needs, but how to make sure it's on the right side of the line?
Yeah, I think that you definitely have to be competitive as a group. And like you said, inside the team, is where you get you bring the competitiveness out of all your teammates. So it may not be me, but it may be Shay one day. And just, I don't know, man, it could be something as far as like, if I come into the game and, I miss my first 2 shots, it's like somebody saying, hey, shoot the next one. Or it's just being like you're going to make the next one, or something to bring the competitiveness out of you to where it's like, man, okay, I can do it. You know what I mean? Just having the teammates is being confident in you. And, it's definitely big to have confidence within a group and kind of to bring that out of each other.
Kenrich, we could talk to you for literally hours, but we've got one more question for you before we let you go.
Okay.
You guys have had a stretch now where you play the Kings and you've played Memphis last night. You're about to take on the Indiana Pacers, and all of these teams are hungry, right? Mm-hmm. They're all fighting for playoff positioning and postseason positioning. What can you guys learn from this stretch? What's important during these stretch of games here, and how tough is it, or what's the mentality to not kind of like peek your head up and look and see, only 9 games left in the regular season and look past it?
Yeah, I think that that's a good point. It's easy to kind of look ahead, especially kind of where we're at in the standings. But I said it yesterday or the other day, and I believe that there's still room for growth in our team. We haven't been the most healthiest team, so I think one way we can continue to build chemistry, especially with the guys who haven't played a lot. We can continue to work on little details of the game that will help us out in the playoffs, and just overall kind of just building that confidence and getting ready, because every game is something. It means something for us, whether that's as a team or individually. So I believe that these 9 games left, each game is gonna be helpful for us leading up to the playoffs, and whoever we're matched up with, we're gonna be able to take something from these games and apply it to the playoff series.
I tell you what, we're all looking forward to seeing it, because these games have been so much fun to watch, and watching you, Kenrich, so fun as well.
Appreciate y'all, and I want to give y'all flowers too. We love y'all. We love kind of interacting with y'all, as you can see, Nick.
So much fun.
Always, and so I want to give y'all flowers, and we're super grateful to have y'all.
Thanks. We appreciate you, Kenrich. Thanks for jumping on the show.
Thanks for being with us.
And also shout out to Kenrich's mom for watching. You were the best. We appreciate you. And thank you everyone else for watching and listening. Be sure to like, rate, and subscribe wherever you get your podcast. Thank you so much to our producer, Matt Bishop. And until next time, Thunder up and catch you later.